Senator, I'm quite familiar with the existing network as well as the legacy or history of that network. It has been rationalized, okay, over its 50 years of plus of history. There's opportunity naturally because geographic populations have changed. We naturally have the service between Chicago and St. Louis and on into Kansas City with the nickname of the Mules.
The River Runner.
The Mules there between Kansas City and St. Louis. And there's a lot of opportunity for improvement, especially from St. Louis to Kansas City, insofar as hosting and train operations. There is definitely a physical plan improvement, considerable, between Chicago and St. Louis, where speeds up as high as 110 mile an hour, and it has operated quite well. It's had some degradation of recent, but those are opportunities that exist throughout the national network, and I think we need to look at them and seize those opportunities and spend our money wisely.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Schmidt. Senator Hickenlooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank all of you for being here today, but also for your commitment to public service. I want to start with, I've got a few questions, so I'll try and keep the answers relatively short. I'll start with Ms. Clegg. And you talked a little bit about the importance of long-distance rail in the West and access in Idaho. Obviously, the California Zephyr Amtrak route passes through Colorado, connecting the West Coast to the Midwest. Potentially additional service in Colorado along the Front Range corridor, really probably up into Cheyenne, Wyoming, would provide additional economic opportunities, expand transit options for communities along the entire route. Looking at Idaho, at the Front Range of Colorado and Wyoming, if you're confirmed, is there a way to begin the process of looking at these routes and the expansion of the potential expansion of Amtrak routes?
Chairman Cantwell, Senator Hickenlooper, absolutely there's a way. And I think that it starts with what you helped form in Colorado with the Front Range Commission. Those local groups that bring the local expertise and knowledge of what's happening in their region can band together and put in for corridor identification program applications, such as the Big Sky Rail Authority did in Montana, such as the city of Boise, city of Salt Lake, and cities in between are reapplying for in the Idaho-Utah region. If we get some train on the track, and including from Pueblo to Cheyenne, then there will make so much sense to connect those to the longer distance network. I'm excited that the FRA long distance study has identified the Old Pioneer route, the Desert Wind route, the route from not just Pueblo to Cheyenne, but all the way to Billings as potential expansion, and we'll work toward those.
Great, I appreciate that, and I agree wholeheartedly. Mr. Latham, the FRA, the Federal Railroad Administration, completed a safety audit of Amtrak in November of 2022, found a strong culture of safety at Amtrak, but there's room for improvement. The report recommended that Amtrak improve its equipment testing, additionally focus on worker safety. If you're confirmed, how could you ensure Amtrak continues to build on safety culture and prioritize the recommendations from the FRA safety audit that still remain outstanding?
Whenever we have a board meeting, make sure we get up-to-date information on where we are with safety. Are we making it a priority? And are we fulfilling the mission in which we have as a board to make sure that safety is a priority?
Okay, I couldn't agree more, and appreciate your history of emphasizing worker safety along the way. Mr. Capozzi, in your testimony, you highlighted the importance of ensuring Amtrak's services remain accessible to passengers with differing abilities. The American with Disabilities Act is one of the cornerstones for equity in the United States. And I think recognizing the leadership of Senator Duckworth here in the Senate, the FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024 includes strong protections for airline passengers with disabilities. Mr. Capozzi, if you're confirmed, would you commit to Amtrak and its participation in the Passenger Rail Advisory Committee that it's responsive to the concerns raised by passengers with disabilities?
Absolutely. I mean, that's been my career, and that'll be my focus on the Amtrak board if I'm confirmed.
I appreciate you and all your history of service along this,
you.
on these issues. Mr. Bertori, I'm very proud. I think I'm going to get all 4 questions in. Amtrak's financial reporting indicates 80% of the losses in fiscal year 2023 were from the long-distance service, or the service corridors. Clearly, though, communities along existing and future long-distance routes, especially in the Mountain West, benefit significantly from reliable passenger rail service. So, Mr. Vittori, what can we learn from Amtrak's history operating long-distance service routes to ensure that we grow the network while maintaining financial sustainability?
Thank you for that question, Senator. There's continuous, if you will, evolution of questions and answers that have to be addressed at any scheduled network. Long-distance trains being a major component of that, and that needs to continue. With that continuation, I am of the belief that long-distance trains are an integral part of tying this country together, as I mentioned earlier, with all the state-supported services as well as the Northeast Corridor. There's lessons to be learned every day, every year, and from those lessons learned, okay, you want to build upon what we learn and make improvements and not accept status quo as being the norm.
Great. I'd like to put an exclamation point behind that statement.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your service. Madam Chair?
Thank you so much. Senator Fisher.